What's up, everybody? Welcome to Podcast Now Plus. I'm Alex, and in this video, I want to talk about some news stories that occurred over the last few days. So let's start with some of the newer ones in which a new Civilization game is occurring. Now, this is met kind of with pros and cons, right? New Civ game, positive. Some of the people that have left Firaxis is not so good. So this feels honestly like a shift within the company. A lot of the people that have been there for a long time are some of the bigger named people, right? Whether they've already left a few months ago or whether they announced a few more of them today, we'll see. I think it's still in good hands. I think they're an incredibly talented developer. Midnight Suns I thought was incredible, even though it really seems like that game didn't perform well, and maybe that's part of the reason people are leaving. They think they've kind of done all they could do, and they're kind of just moving on. But again, from the positive side of things, a new Civ game. Civ games are awesome, so hopefully this one is just as good. Next up is Saints Row. So I think we had actually heard, and correct me if I'm wrong, I thought the last time we heard about Saints Row, the kind of talk about it financially was, it didn't do too bad. It actually did pretty okay. Well, now we know it was a financial flop, that it really lost them a lot of money. And in part of their turning things around, one of the things that they kind of promised, one line that people are focusing on, each project has to earn its right to exist. I guess what scares me about that from Embracer Group is that that wasn't already the motto. So you're telling me for Saints Row, I guess if you try to apply that sentence, you did it just because it was going to be a Saints Row game. You knew how awful it was, but you decided, well, again, it's Saints Row, so it's fine. So now your motto is, well, the game actually has to be a game first in order for us to kind of back it. So I'm glad they figured that out now. I guess it just took Saints Row to probably die off. I don't know, if we'd ever get I think we will. I don't think Saints Row's gone for good. I think it's going to be away for quite a while, though. Next up is a news story from a day or two ago, which is Metro Exodus's sequel is reportedly deep in development, and it's targeting a 2024 release. This came from Insider Gaming, right? Tom Henderson's site. We knew they were making another Metro game, but we just, I guess, didn't know how far it was in development. So, by that, I believe the news story went on to say it would be announced at the end of this year or sometime in this year, and then to release next year. So, honestly, for me, this is one of my kind of weak spots in terms of knowledge about gaming. I have played one or two of these. I know one of my close friends was actually really into this franchise as I was growing up, but me, myself, I haven't really taken the dive yet. I assume, honestly, this next game will be the first, full-on dive that I do with it. Next up, we have Ubisoft's E3 comment. So what's interesting about this is literally one word. So that, they had their financial, quarter meeting or whatever, and they say, if E3 happens, we will be there, and we'll have a lot of things to show. So on the positive side, you think, okay, Skull and Bones, Avatar, Assassin's Creed. You can probably start to build a pretty solid list, well, depending on how you view each franchise, right? But you can start to build a list of what Ubisoft could show if E3 happens. Now, people were originally saying, that was maybe like a little mess up on his part. Maybe he accidentally said that. And then when Ubisoft was asked to comment on that statement, they didn't answer. They said no comment. So that's gotten people to be a little like, wait a second, why would you say something, right? Because, well, here's the thing. E3 has been announced before and then canceled. This time, though, we're getting kind of close. It's supposed to be in June. That's literally 4 months away, actually a little bit less than 4 months. So if you're going to cancel it, I suggest you do it soon. I have not been very high on E3 for an incredibly long time. We've talked about, no Sony, Nintendo, Microsoft that's going to be there. So I don't think E3 is going to be even remotely close to what it used to be. I think a lot of people expect it to not be close to it. But, now with Summer Game Fest, Microsoft most likely is doing their own kind of show the same week. Sony may be doing a PlayStation Showcase in the month of June. I don't think E3 is necessary or needed anymore, myself personally. At the same time, it would highlight those that want to go. So Ubisoft, if EA goes, if Warner Bros. Goes, right, there can be some pretty cool stuff. But just the idea of if E3 happens. So I will personally float the conspiracy out there. I wonder if the companies that want to go or are going, if they've been told, hold off on it. We may not actually do it. because just the way that comment is, it's like, well, I don't think you would say that if you were for sure, if E3 was for sure happening. Why would you say if it happens? Of course it's happening, it is announced. Well, it doesn't mean it has to happen, though. And the final story I want to talk about really briefly is Sonic Frontiers. So while I myself just cannot get through that game, partially because of all the other games I'm playing, and I do want to give it a chance, the game sold extremely, extremely well. And kind of the buzz, headliner thing that's going on about this game is it made a lot of money. They expect it to continue to make a lot of money, and that for future Sonic games, they're going to be giving them a bigger budget. But one interesting thing is when they talk about that, price hike, of their next game, is they talk about labor, that they expect to just have to pay people. Like, that's part of their calculation. They just expect that people are going to need more money, so they need to pay people more money. That's the way the world is right now. In fact, that's what they say. That's the entire world because of the economy and stuff. So just to throw that one in there as well. So there you go. Let me know, guys, what you think in the comments. Make sure you guys are subscribed, bell icon turned on, and I hope to see you all on the next one.